This grind has been a long time in the making, over 220 hours. Once I hit the save button, I'll get my achievements I've been working towards and finally complete this game. But before we do that, let's go back and see what this grind takes, how to get there, all the tips I've learned. So let's check it out. To be honest, I wasn't planning on making a video for Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate. I started playing it just to play for myself and not for content. Just to play this between other games I was making for the channel. Unfortunately, in December I had to sell off a decent chunk of my gaming collection. Just life got in the way and I needed money, so that's what I had to do. I was just looking at my ridiculous backlog and I had somewhat of an epiphany. You can call it one, I guess. I want to change the way I interact with gaming and how it relates to making content around games in 2025. I'm going to try to stick to one game at a time instead of just jumping around a bunch of other games and then hopefully one of them just sticks. It's like I had a visual novel going, I had Indiana Jones that came out, and like right now, it's like all the Game Pass stuff is going crazy right now, and I want to play some of those, but I may play one or two more games at a time, especially if like one's co-op. Like I'm planning on playing Sniper Elite Resistance with some buddies. Warriors was the game I started playing during the holiday break, and I wanted to finish it because I thought it was a waste of time trying to play other games when I could be grinding in Warriors 4. The main focus of this video is going to be on two achievements that were added in the Ultimate DLC, One Man Destroyer, which is finishing a level after killing 1 million enemies, and Weapons Master, which requires you to craft 100 different weapons in Infinity mode. Doesn't sound too bad, right? In reality, this grind is very tedious, and it's a time sink that'll feel like it takes forever. I want to give like an overview and some tips I learned, so if you undergo this task, this will make it easier for you, hopefully. Before you even begin worrying about crafting 100 weapons, there is like 40 to 50 hours of story mode to get through, and by the end of it, you'll most likely have around 500,000 kills. You want to focus on grabbing all of the battle objectives that each mission has, and that's 3 of them for each mission, which they're not too bad. Some of them have really weird requirements on the lower difficulties, but higher ones are more attainable. And you want to go for S ranks. Thankfully, there's no big issue with those. If you're going for all the achievements anyways, you're going to have to go through all the non-DLC levels on Chaos difficulty anyway, so you can mop up then. During this, make sure you set the weapons you gain to be set to sell the materials only, so you can stack up, and when the time comes to craft your character's ultimate X weapon, you'll have enough elements to make it really powerful. And after that, you can just set the weapons to sell for gems. The hardest part of the game is actually picking a character that you want to main. With 177 characters, it's tough. There's so many great ones that you learn over the years playing these games. I would pick someone you are comfortable with and won't mind playing for them for hours upon hours. Sometimes in the story mode, your character won't be there right away. You gotta wait for them to be unlocked, but you can easily like pivot to a character once you unlock them. It's not too bad, and you just need to focus on that one character at the start, because you will need to get to them to level 100 and prestige them 9 times. Eventually you'll get so many growth points you can pivot again, but I found that not to be worth it because you're wasting more currency and elements, and your weapon's not as powerful as the one you had before, and that was in my case. So There are two currencies in this game, gems, crystals. At this point in the game, you should just focus on upgrading the camp all the way, and then only upgrade your main character's weapons so you don't waste as many crystals, because the game is really stingy on crystals. Starting off with Infinity Mode, you will start with 7 characters you can choose from, and make sure you pick your main character and 6 others. Doesn't really matter who else, you'll need to unlock everybody anyways. In this mode, the objective is to clear 12 towers that consist of 5 levels each. These towers have special objectives like breaking pots, total KOs, purifying or destroying anchors. Those total KOs might be officers, chaos origins, or like KOs where magic and Muso attacks earn double the points. These aren't hard at all. If you do them fast enough, you'll be able to skip floors, and that's true for all the towers except for one the first time you do it. Each floors in these towers have 5 characters that are guaranteed to appear, but after that others will appear randomly. Each level has like 20 officers that can appear. Each time you defeat them, you get a chance for them to join you, and if they don't worry about it too much. Once you clear all 12 towers, the Sky Father Tower appears, and this time it's 100 floors to clear. Same as previous towers, but this time the higher level you go, the higher the odds that characters will join you. Once you have 176 characters, you'll be able to clear the 100th level again to grab the last character if you haven't picked Zeus to be on your team. This gold tower is where you'll spend most of your time. And the other 13, you'll most likely get a bunch of gems, generic and character-specific crafting materials, and maybe some crystals. Your first goal here is to craft your main character's ultimate weapon, which costs 1.5 million gems, 10 character-specific, and 10 common materials, and 20 gems. This is incredibly expensive for gems and crystals because for some reason you only can hold 9,999,999 gems and 999 crystals at a time. For all 100 weapons, you'll need 150 million gems and 2,000 crystals. Up to this point, you'll need to run through the tower a couple of times to craft your first weapon. You should have your team to be set at half of them to focus on gems, half of them to focus on crystals. I don't get really why some people say put everyone on treasures. I did that at first, but later on switched it up and I saw no difference to what items I was gaining. To do this efficiently, pick your maxed out character and then pick a faction, grab the 2 characters that start that one and just follow it in sequence once you craft their weapon. And once you craft their weapon, I would take the time to actually equip it to that character and then rinse and repeat, because in the list of the crafted weapons, if you scroll across, you can see which weapon the person's holding, so put their weapon on there so you don't automatically think, oh, I need this guy, but you have to craft 100 unique weapons. Doubles don't count in here. In missions themselves, these take around 15 to 20 minutes depending on the objective. I've seen advice to set your 2 buddies to be set to search, but that isn't worth it in my opinion, having done this both ways. Having them search clears the fog of war and they open the chests for you. I found the better way is just to set them to defend. That way you don't have to worry about leveling them up and doing all that jazz. And before you open the chest, you just swap to them, hit the chest with their attack, and then there's a potential chance they get the unique material. And remember, you only need 10 of those. If you do that, that's potentially 100 chances to get it per run, but most likely you'll only do 60 chests per run when you end up skipping the 4 floors. You'll go all over the map anyways, like killing all the officers. So just open the chest yourselves. And once you beat the tower, you'll get guaranteed character materials. It varies between the amounts. Sometimes I got 5, others I got 1. We're at the mercy of the RNG gods here. And with the opening the chest stuff, sometimes it's not even the materials for your character you're going for, but it may feel bad now, but in the long run, that's going to help you out. Because by defeating the officers and opening chests, you get gems, you get the materials for them potentially, and it just stacks up each time you're going through this tower. I was at 73 hours played when I crafted the 2 weapons at first. The gold tower has 10 levels, and each run will roughly take you about 90 minutes to complete, depending on how serious and efficient you are. I checked my stats when I had 31 weapons crafted, and I got 18 crystals, 1.7 million gems, and ended up being able to craft 2 more weapons from that. When you feel like you're comfortable enough and you feel powerful enough, I would highly suggest turn on restricted mode from now on, so that you get more gems per level, but it may increase the time for each mission. Eventually you'll come to a point where you're either run out of gems or crystals because you're crafting weapons too fast. Now this is where the annoyance comes in, is when you have to go back into story mode to grind out the currency. There's 2 levels that you want to focus on: Gaia, the goddess of the earth, for the crystals, and otherworldly warriors for gems. In the Gaia mission, let's take around 30 minutes, and you want to play up to the point where Wukong's shadows appear and Himiko is starting to summon the horrors, and just focus on killing those. That's 6 chances right there just to get a crystal, and just focus on that. Just keep swirling around there, and 30 minutes will go by where your teammates will kill the officers, which stops them from spawning. At the end of the mission, I got 56 gems, almost enough for 3 weapons. For gems, it's a bit easier. Otherworldly Warriors is only 3 minutes long, and after 90 minutes of grinding just that level, I got over 4 million gems and 59 crystals. Having to do this, which makes the field grind like it takes forever, because when you're in story mode, you're not getting the materials you need, and it's just slow. Now, you can get a bunch of gems in Infinity mode. Like, sometimes you get like 900,000, 300,000. It just depends on what your team is built around with the bonuses. When you get further into this grind, you'll most likely be able to craft a multiple weapons since it's all RNG materials. So keep an eye on what character is close and grab them. But I would save those that are close to getting weapons done. That are not in your faction. I would save that until you're getting close, like you're in the high 80s, low 90s. So it help you like blast through the end of it. On weekdays, I was getting 1 to 2 weapons crafted depending on where I stopped. But on the weekends, I could get 12 weapons crafted or more. The more you play, the more it speeds up, which is nice. The more you play, the more materials the game will give you. At least that's what it says, and it felt like that. If you do have a co-op partner, this will be a bit faster because you can get materials for 4 characters instead of 2. I feel like that you're going to be running into issues faster with running out of currency. That's why I just did it myself, and I really didn't have anybody play with me, so. So I wanted to just show off my weapon that I use for the most part. I have been like changing elements and all this, but most of them are pretty good. Worked for me. I chose Brilliance. This imbues all attacks with attributes when the Muso gauge is full. And in my opinion, the Muso attacks in this game are useless because of the magic that we have at our disposal. So I barely use Muso attacks, only in story mode and when it's the level where you have to use Muso attacks to get double points. And you just use those on officers and you'll get your Muso bar filled up again. Appraisal, this makes us get more probable good weapons that we drop, even though we're just selling them all. You want to use this one if you're grinding out for elements to add to more weapons. I got Flame Slay. It's got flame, so with Brilliance, so every attack's going to be flaming. I got better attack speed. Courage increases attack during officer fights. We're always going to be fighting officers, so that's a good one. This one's a really good one. It makes gems appear after defeating an officer, and I'm pretty sure it does it with a certain number of KOs, and I don't know which it is. And you can get and if you use Unity attack with this on, and you kill a bunch of people, you get a bunch of gems like that. Brawn is normal attacks. You can probably take this one away, but since I'm always mostly using normal attacks, if I'm close up fighting people, always better to have more damage. We got Bolt Wind. I really like the lightning, so I like this. Now, like early on, I did have like the ice, but I felt like that was kind of annoying. Even though it's like a godsend for saving you, for freezing enemies when they're in attacks, and you can just fly around. But I liked having two attributes and killing everybody here. We got Absorption. This one's like a mandatory one. Even if you get hit a bunch of times, you could easily die in this game. So every time you're hitting people, you're getting more health back. And Prosperity, this makes weapons appear after defeating an officer, so it helps you get more gems. And with Appraisal, get some more of a better weapon. So it's like 4-star weapons, I'm pretty sure. As you can get, it's got like a bunch of elements, so it's pretty good. Now, I want to also show off the Sacred Treasure I've been using. I've been using the Gun Near R. Now, this one's great. It can stop time, and it can like destroy enemies with its Y attack. Now, it's like I thought the meteor hit was better, but another one I used was the Death Scythe R. I think this one's pretty good too, but I think you should choose the Gun Near R. Time Stop helps you out if an enemy officer is doing a Muso attack or has you in a chokehold. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what kind of elements you need on your weapons. As you can see, the time played according to the Xbox app is 6 days and 17 hours. That's like 161 hours right now. And you can see the total KOs is not even 1 million yet. But that's a little outdated right now. If we scroll over to the gallery, we still need like 700,000 kills. Which shouldn't take too long in the grand scheme of things, but created weapon types, it's only at 50. Halfway done, but it's going to get faster and faster. You're probably wondering how I stayed sane while going through this over and over again. At first, I did what I usually do when I'm grinding. I would just watch YouTube videos. But this time, I was finding myself focusing on the video more than the game. And that wasn't going to cut it, since you have to pay attention somewhat. Because if you get caught off guard, you can die easily and you have to restart the level, and that's like 20 minutes wasted. Another thing I was doing was clearing out my music library and getting rid of albums I added and wasn't really listening to, or just I had a couple songs on there I liked and I just put those in the playlist. I'll throw up some albums on screen I think people should listen to. Audiobooks are the one thing that helped me lock in and like stay hyper focused during the grind. Like the other ones I was like messing with my phone, and then while I was doing that, like breaking news was happening, like the Switch 2, Xbox games going to PlayStation still, all this crazy stuff. I was just messing around with my phone. But the audiobooks are a great option for grinding, especially when it's so tedious and kind of like zone out and you can zone in into the book. And what I was reading was the Lycanius trilogy by James Islington. I got through the first two books. The third book, I got most of it done, and obviously I wasn't listening to it the whole time. Sometimes I was listening to those at work. This grind is somewhat like of a time anomaly because it feels like there's no time passing at all. But in reality, you're getting like 1 to 2 weapons per 90 minutes, but it feels like it takes forever. This same feeling happened to me when I was playing a game called Genesis Noir. I call it the longest short game I've ever played, and that was only 6 hours. Okay, instead of me going upstairs, hooking up the Xbox to my computer to capture this achievement while I'm grinding pretty hard, then come back downstairs. But we're at 7 days played, 13 hours is like 181 hours now. And as you can see, top right, 62 weapons. So on Friday, I had like 50. I got to 50, so I'm like 12 over this weekend. But this achievement we're going for right now is the 1,000,000 kills. As you can see, it'll be 644 kills I need. And I'm grinding out gems because I was running out. See, it costs 1.5 million gems to create a weapon, and I'm not even at 3 million yet. And I got enough crystals for right now, but I'm just going to grind out some more. I just want to capture this so we can have the achievement pop on screen. And I don't know if it's going to pop up during gameplay or at the end of the level. So I have the TV muted because I was listening to my audiobook that I've been listening to throughout this whole grind since I'm trying to stay sane to it. And I'm almost done. It's like 2 hours left and it's getting pretty good. And taking a break from that just to record this stuff. And I was thinking about how to do all this stuff, like I'm on the fly, figuring out how I want to do this video for this game. But I'm kind of like, I wasn't even planning on it. This game was like playing. This video was just, I wasn't even playing a video on this. I was just playing this game for like my own enjoyment because I really enjoy these games. But got to. It's been taking too long, and this whole grind, so I was like, eh. And like throughout this whole year, I'm going to try to slow down and take it easy with games and not jump around as games as too much. And this is getting to me. I'm like 180 hours in right now, which is kind of crazy, but it's not that. Granted, scheme of things, it's not that bad, but once you like notice like these levels take like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm taking my time here to get more kills, but yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna like be repeating myself throughout this video if I'm like adding more stuff like this in, but if we didn't have to grind out the gems outside of the infinity mode, this would have been fine, like a grind to do, because like after a point, you're like getting 1 to 2 weapons per run, and then you just end up running out of gems because it's kind of annoying. Even if you're not getting your the materials that you need for the certain character you're going with, you still end up getting characters that you've already done or you haven't done already. So I had like two from like Orochi 3 that I could do, and I did that. That's where I'm, and it's like you run out of gems so quickly in this towards the end of the grind, and it's like, do I really want to grind out so much to get ahead? Like maybe like 7,000, 6,000, 6,000,000? Because even if you do that, you're still getting gems in infinity mode, so it's kind of like a waste if you max out your gems without being able to knock some off. And that kicked in, so I don't know if it's going to hear me well. And I know it's like scuffed. It should have been more professional if I went upstairs and captured it myself, like a capture card. But I think this is more authentic. So we're over 700 kills. So it doesn't look like it popped here. Maybe it's going to pop at the end. And with this grind, this level is probably the easiest for all the gems and stuff. I know there's like one for the crystals, and I did that like once, really. You'll see the stats somewhere in this video. Maybe you've already seen it already. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. But it's just crazy. You know, we'll skip this. See, turn up the... There we go. Got the sound. One-man destroyer. Complete a battle after 1,000,000 kills. And see, you get 108,000 gems and whatever we had before. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to show off. It's 5 minutes of rambling. But I don't know if you hear me well. I'm using this on my phone, so hopefully this video is enjoyable. Am I proud of this grind? Yes, I am. It's a very rare completion. Between Xbox and PlayStation players, there's only 603 people with 100%. It did take up a lot of my time and caused me to be a bit lost in what to play next, since I was playing this every day for a month. And like, I was so focused on this, and it's like, and I only got to complete 2 games in January, but February hopefully will be different. But yeah. Alright, 220 hours later, we finally get the craft 100 unique weapons, and it just takes so long to do. And we'll get the complete all the achievements with that, so let's do it. There we go. Weapon Master. 100 different types of weapons. And then here we go with the True Warrior. 100%. Now, if you did this before Ultimate, you didn't have to do the Ultimate to get that achievement, but we did it. I finally did it. It's done. I'm really proud of myself for doing this.